Well, hello again to all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching. Georgia Beer Reviews, back at you today with another one. And what I am looking at is another beer from Pretoria Fields Collective. This is Americus. It is a bourbon barrel-aged stout, 6.5% alcohol by volume. Not sure what the IBUs are. Brewed at Pretoria Fields Collective in Albany, Georgia. A little bit about this beer on the label. In collaboration with our neighbors to the north, we bring you this labor of love from South Georgia, using bourbon barrels from 13th Colony Distillery to infuse our stout with a mixture of booze, caramel, and wood, then finished on fair trade coffee beans sourced from the CAC Pangoy Cooperative in the Peruvian Amazon and expertly roasted by our friends at Cafe Campesino. So this is a collaboration with Cafe Campesino and 13th Colony Distilleries. I've never had it, thanks to Tom Vess at Pretoria Fields Collective for sending me this beer. This beer is not listed on the Pretoria Fields Collective website. My assumption would be that it's a limited release beer. And this is one of two barrel-aged beers that I got from Pretoria Fields. The other one was a tequila barrel-aged Goza, which was incredible. So I have very high hopes for this. Let's go ahead and give it a pour, see what we're dealing with here. There's your pour. Nice little one finger, creamy looking tan head. The appearance, black. Can't really see through it at all. It's a good looking stout in the glass. Let's get an aroma on this. Ooh, definitely getting the coffee. It's got that cold brew coffee aroma. Cold brew coffee has more of an intense aroma and flavor. I find I'm not a huge coffee drinker to begin with, but I've always noticed that cold brew coffee, at least in my opinion, is much more roasty, much more strong with the coffee bean flavor. So the coffee beans are definitely coming through. Nice roasty character on the aroma. Some toasted bread notes. Not really getting any of the bourbon barrel presence on the aroma. Mostly coffee is what I'm getting on the aroma. And a lot of times when you brew with coffee, if you're not careful, you kind of mask the other flavors. So at least with the aroma, that's pretty much all I'm getting is the coffee, that nice roast, maybe a little bit of breadiness, but primarily like some cold brew coffee aromas. It does smell very pleasant though, so without further ado, let's get into this brew. Cheers. Very dark, roasty, toasty. Those coffee beans are coming into play right up front. Definitely coffee forward. A little bit of the bourbon barrel presence is coming through now on the palate. Definitely wasn't picking up any on the aroma, but there is a little bit on the palate. Some nice bready notes. Very dark toasted bread notes in the middle of the sip. Getting to the point of almost being charred, but not quite there. Very roasty toasty though, for sure. It's got a very smooth finish. The mouthfeel is almost creamy with this. Very smooth, creamy mouthfeel. The alcohol, 6.5%. It's not coming through at all. It definitely doesn't taste like a 6.5%, or it doesn't taste like there's any alcohol in here, really. But you do get some of the barrel presence. Very, very minimal, though. I wish there was a little bit more of that barrel presence. I'm not sure exactly how long they age this in the barrels, but my recommendation would be to age it longer to get more of those barrel notes because the coffee is so strong with this, and although it's delicious, that's pretty much all you're getting. The roasty, toasty notes and the coffee notes with that little bit of barrel presence on the finish. I'm not really getting much caramel or chocolate with this. Mostly coffee and toasted bread. It is an enjoyable beer, though. I'm really, really liking this. If you're not a big coffee drinker, though, stay away from this because it's very coffee centric, very coffee forward. That's the primary aroma, taste. The coffee bitterness lingers on the finish. The only thing that kind of mellows it out actually on the finish is that little bit of a bourbon note, which you don't necessarily think of bourbon as a mellowing thing, but it is. It's mellow on the finish because of the bourbon notes that I'm getting with this. I would like a little bit more maltiness, a little bit more caramel, chocolate, and a little bit more of the barrel presence. Like I said, this is primarily a coffee lover's beer because that's what I'm getting from start to finish. Coffee, coffee, coffee. Very good coffee, but definitely a lot of it. Mm. It is an excellent beer nonetheless. I'm going to go with a 93 out of 100 for this. Just getting into that solid A range. What would have made this a little bit better, I think, more bourbon notes, obviously, so maybe age it a little bit longer in the bourbon barrels. A little bit less coffee, a little bit more chocolate, caramel, maltiness. But that being said, it's an excellent coffee stout. If you love coffee, you're absolutely going to love this beer. Very well made. Look at the nice glass lacing there as well. It's kind of like a combination of glass, of alcohol legs and glass lacing because it's going down the glass there. Although the ABV doesn't really, you wouldn't think that you'd be getting alcohol legs. 6.5% is really not that high, but kind of has a little bit of that going on there. Anyway, a delightful beer, 93 out of 100. Thanks again to Tom Bass at Pretoria Fields Collective for sending me this beer. I will post a link to their website in the description below, so definitely go check them out. And if you can find the Pretoria Fields Americus Coffee Bourbon Barrel Aged Stout in your area, definitely worth checking out. So, that'll do it for this beer review, guys. Hope you're all having a great day. And until next time, everybody, cheers.